Hello once again, YouTube. This is Hell's Unicorn coming to you live once again in the dead of night from the pristine forests of William Penn. I haven't done a whole lot of political videos in the past few months for a couple of reasons, but the main one being scheduling, but one side issue that I think I should mention before I get going this evening is that in spite of the fact that I was pretty well aware that I'd be disappointed with the direction the current crowd in Washington was going to take us, I wanted to give Obama and company in Congress a little grace period before I started ripping into them. That grace period has just ended today, and it's not ended because it was a specific length of time set in some capricious manner, but more because I had held out a small degree of hope that, much like in the case of Bill Clinton in the 1990s, a few small, minuscule, yet beneficial changes would actually end up being made. With the latest news article that I saw today on Comcast.net, where I checked my email, I was made aware of the fact that the one tiny issue where I thought there might have been a shred of hope that we'd get some change in was in fact not to be. And I'm now about to read that article for you now. Legalize pot, not a change Obama can believe in. And this is at Comcast.net, and it was put up 8 hours ago. Legalizing marijuana is not the kind of change President Barack Obama can believe in, at least not as a remedy for the ailing U.S. economy. On Thursday, Obama tackled the issue head-on, only half-jokingly, at an online town hall meeting where he noted that the idea was a favorite among the 3.6 million people who voted on more than 100,000 questions submitted on the White House website. I have to say that there was one question that was voted on that ranked fairly high, and that was whether legalizing marijuana would improve the economy and job creation, he said to the laughter at the White House event. And I don't know what this says about the online audience, Obama said, tongue-in-cheek. This was a fairly popular opinion. We want to make sure that it was answered. The answer is no. I don't believe that this is a good strategy to grow our economy, he said before moving back to a more sober discussion of unemployment and health care reform. Thank you for clearing that up, said Jared Bernstein, Vice President Joe Biden's chief economist, who was acting as moderator. Many of the questioners suggested that regulating the marijuana industry could yield large tax revenues. White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs was later asked whether Obama, who admitted in his autobiography to experimenting with drugs in his youth, was leaving some wiggle room on the issue. The president opposes the legalization of marijuana, Gibbs told reporters, emphasizing his seriousness. He doesn't think that's the right plan for America. As for where the new administration stood on medical marijuana, he said to ask the Justice Department. Gibbs suggested that marijuana advocates may have had a hand in stacking the deck by mobilizing supporters to send in questions and go online and vote repeatedly for them. And that's the end of the article. So it seems that in addition to Obama not being a civil libertarian by any standard, he's also a flat-out asshole, and so are a few members of his staff, if you take this at face value. I'll go back to one particular part of this. Gibbs suggested that marijuana advocates may have had a hand in stacking the deck by mobilizing supporters to send in questions and to go online and vote repeatedly for them. So essentially, he's saying that us, well, not me because I don't really smoke marijuana, but those of us who support its legalization, were engaging in online shenanigans. Personally, I take that as an insult. And, you know, I just don't know how to respond to that other than just to simply throw the contempt right back at them. And, you know, you go back even further. Gibbs says that's not what we think is the right plan for America. So what is the right plan for America? To continue to blow billions of dollars, sending people to jail for smoking up in their basements? I mean, this just doesn't jive with me. You know, this isn't the sort of change that I was expecting, because it's not change. This is the exact same policy that good old George W. had, along with every other president since FDR. Where's the change? I'm not seeing it here. And then a little further back in, we have Obama himself essentially mocking the pro-legalization movement. Now, I know there's a good chunk of you out there in the pro-legalization movement who voted for this guy. And, you know, you really should be feeling extraordinarily stupid right now. You can rationalize it all you'd like, but basically, you have got the antithesis of what you were hoping for. And in fact, that's the way Obama's policy has been up until now in every respect. He says we're getting out of the war 6 months before his election, before Election Day. And lo and behold, not only are we not leaving either Iraq or Afghanistan, but we're sending 50,000 additional troops not already stationed in either country over there to stick it to Al-Qaeda. And then on top of that, of course, we have a president who, if he continues, if you'll excuse me, signing spending bill after spending bill, will probably outdo our last president tenfold in growing the federal debt. Change? I'm not seeing it here. Can somebody of those of you who supported Obama and still do tell me where the change is? Because I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing fiscal discipline. I am not seeing an end to any kind of war or our overall authoritarian approach to foreign policy, and I'm definitely not seeing any contrast whatsoever from Bush when it comes to civil liberties or any other issue that the American left supposedly holds dear. All right, so maybe you guys can help me out with that. But personally, I think that you guys made a big mistake by helping to elect this guy. And in the wake of all of the recent speech gaffes, the latest one being that Special Olympics joke, I have to say that aside from maybe being a little bit better at reading from a teleprompter, Obama is just as much of a dumb fuck as the last guy. All right? You know, stick that in your pipe and smoke it. And hopefully Obama and his stormtroopers won't catch you and arrest you for it. With prudence to myself and benevolence to all of you, good evening.